All right. It's 2:30. All right, guys. 2:30. My name is Luis, health fitness specialist with Exos at Autodesk, and this is the final stretch break of the week. All right, guys. So kid-friendly today. It is Family Fitness Week still. So if you have a kid with you, let them have fun. We're just going to stretch it out. We're just going to move around a little bit and keep an eye on them. I'm sure they're going to show you something cool that they can do with their younger bodies. All right, guys, so let's start down on the ground. We're going to be lying down on our sides here to start. So if you have a yoga mat or some carpet space, let's get down onto the ground onto one side. Now, it doesn't matter which side we start with. So once you get down onto your side, let's bring those knees up to about hip level, have them bent, lying on top of each other, and then let that head rest on the ground or a pillow or yoga block if you have it, while extending those arms out and letting them stack on top of each other. From here, we're going to open up like a big book. We want to keep our eye on that hand as we rotate. So the head is going to turn to look at that hand as we stretch it all the way out as far as we can go. And then we're closing the book. All right, guys, let's go for about 4 more of these. We want to take it nice and slow. Kind of open that book just a little bit further each time. But let's make sure those knees and those hips stay locked in the right place. Good work, guys. Be conscious of that breathing. You want to keep a nice regular breathing pattern here. Last one here, guys. Wherever you're at, we'll make this one the last one. Big stretch, open that book. Nicely done, guys. All right, we tackled one side. Now it's time to tackle the other. So take your time and switching over to the other side. All right, guys, same thing. Knees stacked up on top of each other, up at hip level, head rested on the ground or something else. And then arms out in front. We're going to open up that book and turn our head to watch that hand as it stretches all the way out. Might hear some pops and some cracks. It's typically okay as long as it's not associated with some immediate pain. Good work, guys. Keep breathing. Trying to go a little bit further each time if your body will allow it. All right, guys, last one. Let's open up that book one last time. Open, turn that head. Nice work, guys. Nice work. All right, let's make our way up onto our hands and our knees here. Once we're ready. All right, guys, so we're up on our hands and our knees here. What I want us to do is some child's pose, but don't sink those hips back just yet. Let's move those hands, crawl them out to one side. So once you move those hands all the way out, then let's sink those hips back. You can pull those hands in a little closer to the rest of your body. We're getting a nice big side stretch as we do some child's pose here. So let's take some deep breaths and really try and feel those ribs expand against our muscles. Nicely done, guys. Let's slowly rise out of that position, put some more weight back into our hands. And then let's walk those hands all the way over the other side. I'm gonna do the other side too. All right, once we have those hands walked all the way out, let's sink those hips back in some child's pose. And let's feel that other side stretch. Big breaths now. All right, guys, let's rise. More weight back in our hands. Let's walk those hands back into the middle. Bring those knees right under our hips. Good work. All right, guys, from here, we're gonna go into a half kneeling position. So feel free if you wanna grab a pillow, kind of pad that knee up a little bit more if necessary. All right, so we're here in our half kneeling position. If you were with us earlier, you know that we were doing a lot of hip flexor work. So we gotta stretch those hip flexors out, especially because we're also sitting all day. So up nice and tall, let's tuck that pelvis back, squeeze that glute of whatever knee is on the ground, push the hips a little forward, just a little bit if you're looking for some more tension. Suck that core in. And once you have some good tension, maintain that glute squeeze, and then we can reach up and away from that knee that's on the ground with our arm. Let's hold this position here for a few breaths. Nicely done, guys. Let's slowly come out of that tension. It's almost a challenge to keep that glute squeezed super hard so we can keep that hip flexor stretch going. We're not going to switch just yet. Let's stay here on this side. And let's prepare to go back into it one more time. So tuck the pelvis back. We're squeezing that glute, pushing the hips forward just a hair, keeping that tummy sucked in. And then we're reaching up overhead with our breathing. Nice work, guys. Slowly come out of that tension. Bring that arm down. Let's switch sides. Now we're onto our other knee. Let's get nice and tall in this position. Tuck that pelvis, squeeze that glute. Pushing the hips forward just a hair, sucking in that tummy. And then same thing with the arm. Let's reach up overhead. All right, guys, slowly come out of that tension. We did 2 on the other side. We got to do 1 more on this side. Shake it out a little bit if you need to. And then let's start that process over again. Tilting the pelvis back, squeezing that glute, pushing the hips forward just a little bit, sucking the tummy in, and then reaching with that arm. Good work, guys. Good work. Slowly, let's come out of that position. All right, guys, running out of time. I got one more for us, and this is a new one for the stretch break. So we're gonna be lying back down on our sides, believe it or not. Doesn't matter which side we start with here. We're gonna be doing a nice stretch for the shoulder. So lower body doesn't matter. You can lay however is most comfortable for you on the lower body. But what we're going to be doing with the arm that you're laying on, bring it out in front here at a nice 90-degree angle with the elbow. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our off hand. I'm just gonna apply some slight pressure to my wrist as we internally rotate at the shoulder here. And you're gonna realize, keeping that elbow at 90 degrees, that there's gonna be a point where there's some serious tension when we come down. Now, don't push on that arm too much. Just let the weight of your offhand rest on that wrist. Might be feeling some stretch in the upper arm / the shoulder here. We're stretching out one of our rotator cuff muscles, the one that particularly controls internal rotation here in the shoulder. It's always entertaining to watch kids do this one because their arms will flop right down to the ground, no problem. It just shows some of their developmental joint laxity and muscle laxity. All right, guys, slowly, let's bring that hand back up, nice and easy. And then let's switch over to the other side. As we lay on the shoulder, we want to make sure that we're not shrugging. It's really easy to kind of shrug when we lay down. Make sure that shoulder is kind of pinned down. And like a lot of unilateral stretches, you might notice that one side is particularly tighter than the other. And for me, my right arm versus my left arm is much tighter. So just stretch what you got. Just let the weight of that offhand rest on your wrist here. Remember, we don't want it to be too painful. If it's a little intense, ease up just a little bit. All right, guys, slowly bring that arm up. Let those arms relax. And that will do it for this week's final stretch break. Don't forget, you guys, Family Fitness Week is not over, so show us what you got with those TikTok dances and everything else. Let us know how it's going with your kids. Keep moving. We love to see it. Thank you guys for coming. We'll see you next time.
Thanks,